Good Saturday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Joe Murgo. As always, I promise to keep you in touch with the weather even when I'm not in the office. And we thought that they would update the advisories. And we do have a winter weather advisory. And let me go ahead and move myself out of here. Winter weather advisory in effect from this evening at 7 o'clock until 7 o'clock tomorrow. Now, they're always better safe than sorry, and they'll start it earlier, then there'll be some problems and last longer, and then they'll just fine tune the ending when it comes. So I do think in this zone, in which includes Huntington, Center, Clearfield, even Jefferson counties off to the north and east, it's going to be late tonight before precipitation arrives. That's good news, and I'll get into that in a second. And they have upgraded, with a watch, they sit there and go. They'll either upgrade to an advisory, which they did for some of the area, or upgrade to a warning. Now, they have put an ice storm warning in effect for Somerset, Blair, and Cambria and Bedford counties from 7 o'clock this evening until 7 o'clock Sunday evening. Now, I want to give a little bit of a disclaimer here. They drew a very fine line, and normally, and what they're going with is there's going to be slightly less precipitation farther to the north and east. That's a line that the National Weather Service has drawn. In my experience, and now that I'm getting old enough, I'm confident in saying, normally areas to the north and east tend to do better than you think in systems like this and kind of even that out. So, I want everyone to just know, whether you're in the warning area or the advisory area, things are going to get slick. I didn't say may. Things are going to get slick. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to put this into our Doppler radar and what's going on across the area right now. It's a great day for the hunters. All right? It's nice out there, a good deal of clouds, not much in the way of wind. I'll go ahead and turn on our satellite and radar, and clouds are starting to increase. However, watch that precipitation in Ohio and West Virginia. Do you notice the direction it's moving? Not toward the area, actually away. So this is going to be a little bit slower. That's not going to last forever. And you can see a heavier precipitation back across parts of southern Indiana and Kentucky. Now, that's the stuff that eventually will fill back in. So I'll put this into motion. Now you see this precipitation is moving away from us. This one is moving toward us. So it's still coming our way. But as I thought, it really wasn't going to be an issue during the daylight hours. So no problems whatsoever during the daylight hours for today. We'll go ahead and take a look at your future track. Started off pretty much now. And we're going to have dim sunshine through the clouds for a while this morning and even into this afternoon, but then clouds will fill in. Now, the future track starts to bring it in, and it'll always be a little bit quicker this, brings it into parts of Bedford and Somerset counties on our future track, already showing up 7 to 9 o'clock this evening. I'm thinking it's probably a little slow with that. My experience is this tends to come in a little quicker than the models show, but it's still a little bit slower. So I'm saying yesterday I said 5 o'clock in Somerset County. I'm thinking closer to 7. 8 o'clock for Bedford County, and then getting closer to 9 o'clock for Cambria and Blair counties. So it will be moving in a little quicker than our future track shows. And you notice our future track doesn't have much until the middle of the night. And that pink color means there's freezing rain and sleet. All right? Now, why is that real important between freezing rain and sleet? Sleet is raindrops that freeze before reaching the ground. You notice a difference, and you can shovel it like snow, and you can get a little traction in it. That's better than freezing rain. When you look out your window, there's no difference between freezing rain and rain. It's rain that will freeze on some untreated surfaces once it lands. That ratio, still fine-tuning. I still am leaning more sleet than freezing rain because there's just going to be a thicker layer for it to refreeze, at least for a while. But we're going to have a little bit of both. And even when it looks like plain rain, that is what we call freezing rain. And while a treated road may be fine in some places, the treatment may get washed off in others. So you do need to be careful as you're driving out and about. So let me go back to our future track. I'll give you the full screen here. And you notice that we still have Sunday morning a lot of sleet and freezing rain. And the precipitation late tonight into tomorrow morning, probably at its heaviest. And I agree with this wholeheartedly. we're probably not going to get to the point where it's just plain rain until it's almost done. But it will be done later in the day. So things will get better as the day wears on. So as I said earlier, if you're planning on your travel, plan on the window before sunset for tonight and then afternoon for tomorrow, and things will be better. So you just need to keep that window open late tonight into tomorrow. Now, I'm going to the Penn State game. I am not bringing my rain gear, so that should tell you something if the meteorologist doesn't bring his rain gear. But hopefully it doesn't go into overtime because we need to have this out by the end, by the time we get back in a lot of locations. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our Future Track ice accumulation. And again, I think this is a little slow. Our Future Track doesn't have much, but it doesn't take much to make things slick. So even where you see that 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, Altoona, State College, Clearfield, if it's freezing rain, it's really going to cause a problem. Even sleet is going to cause some, but you notice 1/10 of an inch by tomorrow morning, Somerset to Jefferson counties. Hence why I'm sitting there and I'm looking at you and saying, or I'm not on the screen right now, but trust me, I'm looking at the camera, that I want you, even in the areas not in the ice storm warning, to understand that it may be up to the warning status. You see that 1/4 of an inch of ice on our Future Track, and that happens a lot of times, and it ends up a little bit farther to the north and east. So there's some places not in the warning that have more amounts than there are in the warnings, and these numbers will still adjust. This is a single computer model, and you just can't go off of a single computer model to figure out what's going on. So I'm telling everyone, all right, everyone in our area should kind of treat this system the same. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our travel forecast for today and tonight. And as I told you before, this afternoon, fine. No problems whatsoever, even a little bit after sunset. Now, 6 o'clock, it's getting a little bit closer to some problems down near the Maryland border. 8 o'clock, I'm giving you the yellow because the southern and eastern part of our viewing area is going to be getting slick, and then it spreads northeastward, and the worst travel, I think, starts in the middle of the night for tonight. So you can see that you have a pretty good window to travel for today, even into early this evening. Let's go ahead and talk about your travel for tomorrow. Very slick in the morning in places. It's not going to be everywhere, and it depends on the treatment and the individual temperature. We're very close to that freezing mark. And the actual process of rain freezing releases heat into the atmosphere, believe it or not. So sometimes freezing rain can end its own cycle. But I want you to know, through early in the morning, it's going to be very dicey in our area. Lunchtime, still slick in a lot of places, and even into the early afternoon hours, but it gets much better later tomorrow into tomorrow evening. I promise I'll keep you up to date. Veronica's in the office for today. I am home, and I'm also heading to the Penn State game. I will be checking out social media, so I'll be able to talk to you, and I'll continue to give you updates on into tomorrow. But I want you to have a heads up of when it's good and when it's not good across our region. All right? You guys have a great rest of the holiday weekend, and I'll be with you all the way through.